Hello pals, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sharon Jeb. Don't forget subscribe at Sharon Jeb pale YouTube. There's been this trending issue of building collapsing cases in the country. Recently, the building at Kahawa West at Roysambu constituency in Nairobi collapsed, and it's actually a 6-story building. That's like 6 floors kutoka chini, and actually, many people are feared died. Many people are feared trapped in the building. And according to the research by the National Construction Authority of Kenya, it states that many of these cases are attributed to poor workmanship. That is, you lack enough skills to construct a house. Maybe you've graduated from a university, but you don't have those skills for building, for restructuring, or for designing buildings, and you just go and do your work. And as a result, the building, yes, it has been built, imemaliza, people are inside, but then again, it has its defaults because of what is called lack of enough skills. You don't have those enough skills of how a building should be constructed. Also, the NCA, that's the National Construction Authority, also says that these cases are attributed to lack of enforcement of laws. I mean, the laws have been stipulated in our government very well that contractors should comply with these laws, but many of these contractors, you find that they fail to comply with the laws of the construction industry, and as a result, it has a very negative impact to the tenants, maybe who would be in renting these apartments. Like in Kahawa, we've seen people many people have been told to evacuate from the sites because of the future damages. Some of these buildings are just sited near rivers. The soil has not well been taken into records and known if this is the best place where a structure should be built. Then just people build these houses recklessly, and you find that it has very adverse effects. Many people are dying because of what is called human negligence. We tend to neglect what affects us. Maybe some of these buildings may collapse are attributed to the natural disasters like the earthquakes, the floods. But research shows that most of these buildings collapse because of what is known as human negligence. You just neglect what affects us as a country, and that's why we are calling upon the government, we are calling upon private sectors owning this building, that whenever we tend to start a construction, whenever we tend to build a house, whenever we want to build a structure in a certain place, we should ensure that this house that we are going to construct, this structure that you are going to place in a certain place has been approved by the respective ministry or by the respective sector, so that if you were in a future the building collapsed because the building was not approved by the government, like the Kahawa West building, it was not actually approved by the county government of Nairobi to be built, and despite that case, the owner of the building, who was yet to be disclosed, is still being looked at. Allow the tenants to come in the building, and it has posed a lot of risk. And guys, this is not only the risks, or this is not only the case, because in the recent years we've witnessed a lot of buildings, we've witnessed such cases where people are trapped in buildings, where buildings just collapse, and when you tend to intervene, it's because maybe the contractors used cheap or substandard materials that do not fit in the structures. You find that maybe people who were employed there, they lacked enough skills. You find that the building was set in a place that is not convenient to people's needs. You find that, it has a lot of faults that actually, us as humans, as people who care, people who we want best in, we want a safe environment, or we want a safe space. We tend to neglect it. This is actually an issue that has to be addressed not only by the government, not only by the private sector, not only by the contractors, but as a whole, because my opinion matters, your opinion matters. You see, the building, it has just been set in a place and it doesn't fit the place. You're free to opinionate, and such opinion should be taken into account, because we are trying, or we are looking at the bigger picture. We are looking at our future. We're looking at how our future will be after maybe the building has been completed for labda 7 years or so, 2 years or so, 1 year, or even 2 years. Some buildings, by the way, they tend to take a very little time. You find the building is just a 6-story building, but the amount of time that was taken to build that house is just 6 months. Like, how can just a 6-story building take a very low time? It means that there is some haste in completing the building, and in that process, there are certain things that might be missed. So it is